Yeah. And welcome to this month's Q&A.
This month?
Okay, this year's.
This year's Q&A.
Hope you all had a good New Year and a good Christmas. It's now crack on time for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
With renovations.
Full blown. Yeah, no mucking about. Let's get down to it.
Long old days again.
Yeah. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to answer some of your questions that you've kindly placed in the comments as per instruction. Somebody's got a list.
I have.
So somebody's been all efficient and printed them out.
And I haven't even told Ted any of these questions actually yet.
That's all right. I've read some of them.
Have you?
I've read a couple of them, yeah. But, obviously I didn't want to answer them because we were doing this.
We've got quite a few to get on with. So let's get started. It's Q&A time.
Go. So you're going to ask me a question and then I'll ask you a question.
Oh, we could do.
And then you can do that.
Yeah.
Because then, otherwise, if we're trying to read it and fathom it out, wouldn't it be better if we just,
Okay. So Richard Ellison, dear Richard. Hi, Richard.
Hope you're all right, mate. It's a shame that we didn't get to see you, but hopefully this year it'd be brilliant. It'd be so brilliant if you come over. It'd be fantastic. So
Richard's asked, do you think the cafe will be the main income source for the Chateau in the future?
One word answer.
No.
It's something that we've thought about and we are in continued discussions with, but it is not really, if I'm honest, and I think I'm going to be honest for you too, it's not something we really signed up for. So, no, it's the answer to that, and we'll leave it there.
Do you want to leave it there?
Why not?
Okay. Based on the energy and time put into the dinners, was the profits made worth all that you had to put into it?
No. The thing is as well, is because it was a lot to do with setup costs as well, that we had, and because we wanted everything to be a certain way, I think, and they say about restaurants that if they don't, make a profit in the first 6 months, they're not going to whatever. But it was because we wanted everything to be right, and we had to invest quite a lot of money and an awful lot of time. Initially, that time, I don't think it made.
No, if we're honest,
made it worth it.
The tea room restaurant, whatever you want to call it, had probably got to the stage where, had we continued, it would have started making a profit because we had everything we needed to continue for the service, for all of the cutlery, the crockery, the table decoration, everything that we needed, we had. If we'd continued, we would probably started to make a profit. Yeah. However, there is that thing, and a lot of people have said, do we think that it would be better just to have a cafe? And one of the other questions I've got here is, would it be better to have it just as a cafe with tea and coffee and cake? No, because one, you don't make money out of that. Two, you can't just offer one cake option. So if you're having cake and you're advertising you've got cake, you've got to make quite a few cakes. Boy. And that means quite a lot of wastage because you don't know what people are going to want. Whereas when we did the plat de jour, that was actually a really good earner because it was, and that's when we were fully booked, plat de jour was fully booked. It was the afternoon teas where we had a lot of wastage and it didn't really pick up. So no, for me though, you say no about it being worth it. I think it was worth the effort because it gave us a lot of contacts. It really put us into the community, made people come and have a look around, get to know us and understand what it was we were here to achieve, we want to achieve. And I think it's got a lot of the community on board with us now and given us a lot of contacts. So that is one thing that it really did do well.
I suppose you're right in saying that. With the contacts thing and the networking and all that. Yeah, I suppose so. Ultimately, we want to be renting the rooms out. That is the thing. That is the, and
that was always the priority.
That was always the priority. And it went, there is I say no as well, but it did sustain us through that period, you know, but financially, and as like Lisa said, you know, it put us on the map with a lot of people. A lot of people came from quite a long way away, which was really good for us. So, you know, again, we've said this, I think, a few times, and probably, I don't know whether we said it on film, but we certainly said it to a lot of the people we've met, is that it really was a double-edged sword, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to preempt questions by going into lots of depth of answer. So let's crack on to the next one, shall we?
So Richard's next one is, now that the dinners are done, for now, when do you plan to restart them? We can't answer that.
No.
Because we don't know. We are going to crack on with the renovations over the next 3 months, and then we are going to reevaluate and see where we're at and see what is best. It may, you know, it certainly won't open in the same guise it was. As we said before, the plat de jus were the most popular and the thing that brought us in the most income. Whether it is we do that once a week, once a month, we really don't know. So we will readdress that when we come to it, when we know.
Yeah.
What is the renovation schedule going forward? I'll answer that shortly, Richard, because a lot of people have asked that. So we're going to do a bit of a planning meeting for you, and we'll answer that before we come to the end of the video. Have you changed your overall plans for the Chateau renovation with regard to priority of rooms or buildings, order of importance? No, we always knew, you know, the plans in the beginning was always that the main Chateau part with the 4 apartments had to be finished first, because that's what's going to bring the income in. So we are continuing with...
That's certainly our priority, you know, the first and foremost. My feeling is that I would really like to address, and hopefully we can do it this year, is we address some of our landscaping issues. Now, because I think, you know, there were so many people that came when the weather was nice and said, this is so beautiful. And I thought, yes, it is, but I want it to knock your socks off. And I think and it's probably we know it's just graft, we know it's a lot of this, that and the other, but it's cleaning areas, it's cleaning those walls, it's doing some of the, you know, the prettiness of it, and, you know, maybe finding, you know, it's terrible at the moment because obviously it's winter and it's really, you know, it looks very dank and horrible, but to me, it just looks stunning. I just love it. I love it. I love it first thing in the morning. I love it, you know, when the sun goes down and everything. But I think the thought of people driving in there and looking before they even get here, into the building itself, to go, wow, what a gorgeous setting. Because I've seen places like that. You know, we talk about the boys up the farm, and you drive into theirs, and it is a working farm, but it has a grandeur about it, and this just screams that it's got to have that grandeur.
Good answer, baby. Good answer. Have you considered a permanent outdoor structure to replace the tent that was damaged?
Can I answer this one?
You can.
Richard, you're a man after my own heart. Yes, we are going to, in some guise, put a permanent structure. It won't be sided, it will just be a canopy, like a pergola, but a bit more grand than that. We're going to talk to our electrician about getting some power out there, but it may well, we haven't really decided exactly where we're going to put it, but it may be within the walled part, the little walled garden, if you like, which is sort of, you know, works nicely for there. And there's a concrete stand the other side, so we were thinking about having, you know, the ability to maybe do the barbecue on the concrete stand and then have the thing so you could serve over the wall. You could do, there's lots of different things, but it's our roundabout. I would like to do it in great big oak posts with an oak you know, just a canopy, or, you know, a tiled proper pergola. But I'm really kind of interested. I've never done it, but I want to do it in mortise and tenon and pegged and everything, very traditional. And that's that may well be a little bit ambitious, but you know, you never know. We'll get it done.
You can do it, baby. You can do anything. Katrina Musgrove.
Hello, Katrina. How are you?
I'm so glad that you had a great trip.
Yeah, fantastic. 3,500 miles or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good God, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So Katrina and Carl have been in their camper van touring. Well, not just France. They went to Spain. They went all over, didn't they?
Did they go down to Portugal? Did they go down to Portugal?
I don't know. Did they go to Portugal? Anyway.
Well, you were in communication, weren't you? But you're just got such a memory of a bloody goldfish.
But we absolutely loved meeting you in the flesh. We've been talking for so long now. It was so lovely to see you.
Yeah.
And we really hope to see you again soon, Katrina. But anyway, on to Katrina's question. Having seen the project and the mountain to be climbed, have you considered selling any part of the property to bring income in to reinvest in the chateau?
I don't think it would be a viable thing. We've had discussions with a couple of agents only for the fact that they came for lunch, and lovely Laura came for Christmas dinner twice, and Laura is a real estate agent in this area and has known the French market for a long time, and I just don't believe that to be able to split this off in any way, shape or form. The land would not be worth anything substantial enough. It's not viable farmland. It doesn't adjoin anybody with any viable option for them.
Also, land in France is so cheap.
Well, you say that it's about 2,500 a hectare or something. I think Michael's telling me it might be 2,500 an acre, but for good quality farmland. But this isn't. It's wet. It's this, that, and the other. So that and the building wise, if we say for argument's sake, the only thing we could do possibly is sell the Relais de Poste. That is not going to happen.
No.
It's as simple as that. It's
not going to happen. If we had to sell, we'd have to sell the whole lot. I wouldn't want to sell part of the property.
And that is not an option.
Yeah.
In this current situation, you should see it in here at the moment. It's fabulous.
Gorgeous.
It's just fabulous. The only thing, as Lisa did point out recently, is that we actually want to leave.
But we have to.
Yeah.
What has been the highlight of the last 2 years, and would you reconsider the purchase in hindsight? No, I wouldn't reconsider. Would you?
I'd have probably just driven past. Oh, that's nice, yeah. Oh, look, it's for sale. It's for sale. It's for sale. Bye. No, I'm only joking. It's, the thing is, you wouldn't do this unless it meant something to you, and
unless you're mad.
Yeah, unless you're completely bonkers, which we probably are. But I don't think. What was the question again? Have we considered
in hindsight?
What's the highlight? So no, we wouldn't reconsider.
No.
But one of the highlight. I think one of the highlights for me is when we finished apartment 2. In the fact that we sat down after doing 7-day bed making.
Yeah.
And we did a little piece to camera. I was so massively proud of the pair of us. And the funny thing is I just thought today about, I came out of the downstairs apartment into the which is now our lounge, the tea room, the lounge. And just thought, my God, if we'd have had any building skills, that would have been one thing. But we didn't, and we've done this. And that is the overall project is the highlight for me.
I can't say there's one thing that's been a highlight. There's been so many ups and downs, like highs and lows. And the lows have been very, very rare, and also very quickly...
Well, yeah, because
by a high, isn't it?
Because but we've always had that between the two of us. Is that you more than me have always been one of the, the people that don't worry about stuff you can't control. Where something happens, you deal with it, you move on. And I think we have to do that. We have to, because if you dwell on this, it will drag you down, and it will take forever to get out of that situation. So we can't allow it to do that.
No.
That's the thing. We
and there's been so many highs.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I really hope there's more to come. I'm sure there is more to come. And I think there will be, because we've got so much more work to do. It's every day. It overwhelms me with the amount of work. But yeah, the highs have been fantastic, and the lows have been dealt with and gone.
Lucy.
Hello, Lucy.
Madam Diamond. Hello, Lucy. I haven't spoken to you for a while, Lucy. Did you make enough money for the iron work, the door or the gate? No.
Well, we don't know. No, well,
we didn't make any money.
Well, the answer to that is no. But then we don't know how much it was, because dear Frank has not come back to us yet. And fair play to him. We did say to him that it was down the line.
We said no rush.
It would have been. We were talking spring. Spring this year. So in that respect, we don't know how much it's going to cost, but probably not. No.
But we didn't actually really make a profit on the meals that we did, the tea room. It washed its face, and we like that saying now, don't we? It washed its face. That's from old Mikey. Mikey's saying. Washed its face. But allowed us, like we said to Richard's comment, it allowed us to buy everything we need going forward if we ever do any more entertaining, hosting, whatever. Catering, it allowed us to buy everything we needed.
In that basic sense, I think it does allow us to do that. From a major point of view, then that's a different matter.
Wendy Hart.
Hello, Wendy Hart.
Hello, Wendy. When are you setting the date for the wedding?
We don't know.
We do know.
I know we do.
The wedding date is set. It's the 11th of June this year. We've done no planning for it. We have no idea in what guise it's going to be. We have no money, so it's going to be a cheap wedding. I don't know, really. I was talking about catering today, and we were thinking that, if we're that skint, we might just have to get everybody to bring something with them.
I think that might be a nice idea. Don't bring a gift.
Bring food.
Bring your dinner.
Yeah, bring your dinner.
Bring the wedding breakfast.
We just want it to be fun and music, laughter, a bit of dancing.
Like we've done before, when we had Lisa's birthday party, which is a great do, thoroughly enjoyable for everybody concerned, apart from the fact this bloody woman works as well. And hopefully you won't have to on your wedding day. But yeah, we just want it, as like you say,
low-key. And just
low-key, lots of fun,
people here to enjoy.
Lots of food, lots of drink, and hopefully some of our nearest and dearest.
Yeah,
who I've
depending on travel.
I had a couple of conversations with some of my friends back in the UK, and they are really, really up for coming. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Jane Kearns.
Hello, Jane.
You say hello, Jane, or is that? I
said hello, Jane.
Oh, sorry.
Flipping hell, what's the matter with you?
Hello, Jane. Did you still want to run the tea room bistro long term, or is it your intention just to keep it running until the apartments start to produce a decent income? I think we've already answered that, haven't we?
I think we've kind of answered it.
We don't really know in what guise it's going to be going forward, but watch this space.
Well, it's the second part to her question. Do you think it may be better, as in less work, just to turn it into a tea room with just snacks and cakes? Well, yeah, we did. I
answered that. Yeah, that isn't an option. That's a lot of waste.
The thing is, I was going to sort of touch on that I think a lot of the tea rooms, and I think about the place we went down, that very pretty village that we went to, and they had a tea room, and she'd been there for about 10 years, this lady, and I believe that a lot of the stuff that she does is all bought in. And it's all lovely. I think she makes her sandwiches and all that sort of thing, but her pastries and her cakes and all that sort of thing. She's probably does, and that could be an option because we know there is a bakery in our nat.
Yeah, the problem is like with that. I think to make a profit and not to have as much waste, you have to be open every day.
Yeah, that's probably the thought,
and that's not something that we are after doing. So, so thank you for that, Jane. Annette Sharrock. What is your next renovation and why? Well, everyone's been asking what's the next renovation. Just a quick reminder for those of you that don't know, there is a full plans and walkthrough video. I'll put a link to it actually in this, that you could go back to, because the initial plans and walkthrough is still exactly the same. We haven't changed the plans in any way. So what we initially come to do is still what we're planning to do. But... So
the next renovation, to answer your question, Annette, the next renovation is apartment 3.
Yes.
And
well, shall we take them up and have a look?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's go upstairs and we'll take a look at apartment 3 and we'll tell you exactly what we're going to do. Well, what we think we might be doing.
What we're hoping to do.
What we're hoping to do.
We're in apartment 3, and amazingly, look at all the light. Let there be light. So we've had our lovely electrician Lee come and see us today. He's put some strips in here, so we just got all light. He's put a socket in there. He's even put a light switch in.
Temporary lights and
sockets.
It's
all temporary stuff, but it allows us to work because obviously, 5 o'clock. Well, let's say 4 o'clock, you can't see a thing in here. So it's very, very dark, very dark. But this allows us to start doing what we want to do. So just a quick overview of what we want to do in this room. So this room we want to keep, we don't want to put any dividing walls or anything like that. It's going to be an open space. What we'd like to do is to have 2 smaller double beds in here to allow for 4 people staying, maybe two couples, or if you've got friends coming, then they'd like a little bit of luxury because you have that nice big bed. That would be really enjoyable. So over in this corner to my left is where we want the bathroom, and hence we've had first fixed cables put in there, but all the pipework, all the grey is in this area. The water is here, so it's sensible for this to come into this area. And then over this side, in this corner, is where we're going to have a small kitchenette. It may well be not as extensive and not as grand as possibly next door or anywhere like that, but it's just to give a bit of comfort, a bit of self-contained comfort. This wall here, we are going to expose the stone. This is going to be a hell of a job because I think this is really thick and we don't know what's behind it and what the state of the stone is behind it. I think it is lime. It's been rendered and lime washed, so that's probably a good thing, but it's an internal wall, so we're not too bothered about it. This wall by the door here is going to be boarded because of it's not particularly brilliant and it's going to hide all the cabling. Now at the moment we're having a little bit of a debate as to whether we do what we normally do or we normally have done with ceilings. So because the boards in the ceiling, as Lisa pointed out today, are in pretty good condition. I like the colour, I like the browny colour, and you've got this dirty great big beam and you don't want to deter from that. But to allow us to keep these open, that's the thing we've got to think about. Got to have a look at it, got to do some maybe experimentation in seeing whether the gaps between the boards, the little faggots, is what I think they're called, the little short boards, which are all hand cut, are, you know, pretty good and they don't allow lots of things in there. So that's the thing. It's extraordinary. I just cannot get over how high. This is a second floor room, sorry, first floor room, and the ceilings are, well, they're 9 feet, so they're about 2.7 metres high. And it just gives such a grandeur. You know, the funny thing is we've never seen this room with light in it. We've never, you know, I worked in here when I was doing number 2, but I had an old work light suspended from the ceiling, and that gave, you know, a light in that corner. But to see it like this, one, it looks fantastic, big and open and everything like that, which we want to keep. But it makes you realise how we've got to get the lighting right to retain the medieval feel of this room.
The ambience.
The ambience.
Ambience. So, fireplace as well.
Fireplace is gonna, you know, again, we would love to have it as a big wood burner or something like that, but I'm not going down that road. We are not going down that road of allowing that to happen in a rentable property. So we're going to have to think about that. We have had discussions about it, and I'm not going to say too much more about it because I'm sure that will be subsequent videos when we get down there. What I think Lisa is thinking of doing certainly is doing this, keeping these bricks open and re-mortaring in between, like we've got down in the cafe, the tea room area. So maybe the white mortar to bring that all out, because that step down is so lovely, and that is in the room below, apartment 1. But again, you know, that was already rendered downstairs, wasn't it?
No, I rendered it.
You rendered it.
Because the stone was so black and awful, wasn't it?
Rubbish, yeah. So, but this we'll try and clean up because of this, and then we're gonna do something on there. You know, we're gonna do something on there. We don't know yet. We don't know. But this floor, the undulations, we want to keep the undulations as much as we can. People will probably say we're mad, but that's the way we want to do it.
It tells a story, doesn't it? All these lumps and bumps and the waviness of it tells a story and just shows its age.
And as I've said many times, it's my house, I do what I want. No, it's like that. So yeah. But the first jobs really are to decide exactly what we're going to do. We know where things are going to go, and my first job is to get all the copper out of the room and to start laying out the bathrooms, because I've got to do some mucking about with pipe work and all that sort of thing. I've got to do some water pipe to send, because we're going to have the ballon above here that's going to service this room. So that's my first job.
And my next job is to get all of this, whatever it is on this wall, off the wall so I can remortar and expose all the stone. Just a little job there. More mortaring.
Rather you than me, darling. No, I may well be giving you a hand with that one, because it's you know, it's a lot of work to be done. You know, we are gonna. There's at the bottom of the stone. It looks like it's concrete at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that whether we do the whole thing, whether we need to do the whole thing, because we've got a plan for halfway down here. However, it being concrete, it's probably all going to have to come off.
Yeah. Anyway, we have costed this apartment out, thinking that obviously this apartment's going to be from scratch, as it is, in the state it is, to finish. We, if we've costed it right, should bring it in at €7,200. However, we haven't got €7,200. At the moment, we have no renovation budget at all. The only income that we've got coming in that allows us to continue with the renovation is you watching the ads and getting our YouTube AdSense money, and our patrons. Our patrons are literally helping us now to continue with this project.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're the ones who are enabling us to do it. So thank you so much to all your air patrons.
Yeah.
We love you all and thank you so much. So thinking about this is going to take us next 3 months, looking at the amount of money that we should have coming in, as long as we don't lose any patrons and you lot continue to watch the ads, we have to bring it in under €5,000.
Yeah. I think, you know, well, obviously we've got to do everything ourselves. Everything, we have to do absolutely everything ourselves, apart from obviously the electrics, which, you know, and, you know, thank goodness we have Lee now, because if we had the first guy, and, you know, I'm not dissing anybody, but he was so expensive, there would have been no way that we could have got this done, you know. And to be honest with you, it would have been time as well, because I know that he is incredibly busy and trying to tie him down, whereas Lee is prepared to come in, you know, whenever and does it, and he's so good to us for that, and I thank him for that.
And so quick.
And so quick. So, you know, that's really gives you the heads up. You know, yes, it's a lot of work, but we just got to do it. You just can't say anything other than we've just got to do it.
And we have to get it finished by April because we've got people booked in for it.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, everyone, please go onto our Google account, Chateau. You'll find us on there. Leave a review. You don't have to stay there to be able to just leave a review about the YouTube channel and
do anything like
take
that.
a look at
really
the Airbnb.
nice.
And if you are thinking of coming out this year to come and stay, get in contact with us.
Yeah.
Get it booked up, please.
But just, you know, like, go and have a look at, you know, because this is the thing, because we are now renovating, we are not stopping to do cooking or tours or this, that and the other. Hopefully, and this is what I'd really like to hope, and, you know, I know you're the same, is that we want to put as much content out as we can.
Yeah.
So, you know, is anything you want to see again, anything we can do, you know, we'll happily do that. We'll point you in the right direction. You know, hopefully we'll be able to put some little snippets out. You know, the Instagram thing, please, you know, just like and subscribe and do all that great stuff, because then that, you know, I know it keeps us going and it's fantastic, and we feel that, you know, we can properly be back in your community.
And you're part of the journey with us.
You're part of this with us, and it's fantastic because this is number 3. This is the 3rd one we're doing. You know, effectively, most of downstairs is done. Little bits of, you know, snagging lists.
Titillating. I like that word. Titillating.
Titillating. But then, you know, so this is the, you know, this one here, and then obviously on to 4 as and when we can find a budget to do it. But please stick with us, because it's going to be fun. 2022.
That's the year. So, for those of you that asked what the next project is, this is it.
We're standing in it.
And we're not coming out of here for 3 months.
Well, I might have to go to the loo now.
So hopefully that answered your question. There was a lot of people who actually asked about what is the next project. So that is.
And the reason, you know, the reason why, as we, you know, we've touched on, is the fact that we've got people booked in.
We have. Roberta Bacchus. Are we going to start having Workaways next summer?
Well, we've touched on this before. Now, as we have said, volunteering in France, in whatever guise that takes, is illegal. It is not a thing that is done. However, I have been on the Workaways site and I've had a look, and there's an awful lot of French people on there. Not French people. There's an awful lot of French
businesses,
sites, you know, to go and do your work away with. So as far as I am concerned, I think that is something that we really got to look into. We are having hopefully some volunteering next year. This year, and we'll update you with that in due course. But I think it's a really, really good idea. And my main thing, and I will say this because I think this is for me, I think if we had those Workaways, I think we concentrate on the main parkland area to get the stream where me and Charlene found the stream. and to get that dug out and get some kind of, sight line to the lake.
Also, clearing, there's a lot of trees that need a lot of clearing and
copious amounts of trees, brambles still
and
available.
we've still got a couple of acres that we still have not actually gained access to out there, haven't we?
Yeah, we haven't accessed them, but our dear dogs have.
Yes.
Because the other day, just as a little side issue, the other day we went out, both of us were working, went outside. I said to Lisa, "Where's the dogs?" "Oh, well, they're in with you, aren't they?" "No, they're not with me in the workshop." "Well, they're with you." "No, they're not with me." "Oh, bugger. The gate's open." And they were gone. And it took us, 45 minutes to an hour?
But the funny thing is, so me and Ted went off, walking all around, screaming their names out. So Ted then decided to go up the Shemin, up the side, round the back, because we often take them for walks up the Shemin, so had they wandered off up there. And I went round the back of the land, so over the other side of what would be the lake and the back of the land, and found the water source.
A second water source. There's two water sources you come into our lake.
Yeah, I found it by falling in it. And I fell in, literally, up to the top of my legs. I had to crawl out because it was just thick mud, and I crawled out without my boots. My boots stayed in, and I got out. So I lost my new boots.
Well, yeah,
they weren't very expensive, but they were really good welly boots.
Yeah, they were really good.
And then I had to slop all the way home with my socks hanging off my feet, mud up to here, and all over me. And then
got back and told me it was my fault.
Yeah.
Because I didn't hear her hollering. Because I was about a mile and a half away, shouting for me dogs. Which anyway. I then came back round the corner, down the Shemin, and just out of, as you do, hollered for me big lad, his hands, and there he came trotting back as if nothing had happened. What are you shouting at, Dad?
Little sods. Anyway, so yeah,
sorry, digress,
hopefully Workaways this summer.
Yeah.
But again, nobody really knows travel situation and everything else. So, Sean Price, what have you in mind, project-wise, next to this chateau? We've answered that, haven't we?
Next to the chateau?
I think she means next for the chateau.
Right, if she needs next to it, we're going to buy up all the houses around it and turn it in like Leggett Village.
No,
Malia, we're going to make Malia the village it always was.
No, I think we've answered that, Sean.
Yeah. Thanks for your question,
thank you very much for putting your question in. Angela Galloway, which part of the renovation is next? Again, thank you, Angela. But apartment 3, we've done. Tracy Brown, when are we going to see the room above?
The room above?
I think she means a secret room. Well, it's not a secret room, is it? What's it? The room without a door.
I'm still waiting for your version of Strike It Lucky. Tracy, you cannot believe this. The other day, I say that I saw questions and I saw Tracy's question.
And we went and looked at it, didn't we?
And we went and watched on YouTube an old version of
Strike It Lucky
with Michael Barrymore.
We should get Marky Hugh round and we're doing it.
And I know, poor old Michael Barrymore had a lot of grief, but I did find him funny. I did find him funny.
Should we get Marky and Hugh round and we'll try and do a Strike It Lucky?
Oh, that'd be hilarious. We need about a dozen televisions though, don't we? So you strike the screen.
Yeah. Oh, that would be funny, Tracy. We've got to think of another game show because that was hilarious.
It was good.
And those of you that don't know what we're talking about, we did a generation game video. You've got to go and watch it because it was so funny.
It's brilliant.
Chris
hello, Chris.
Hi, Chris. I've been wondering about the garden. What plans do you have for it next year? A little fruit and veg? A lavender hedge? Topiary in the shape of your pets? Hilarious.
Topiary in the shape of our pets. Oh, that would be excellent. Wouldn't it be fantastic to do that? That is, that's a massive nice to have, Chris, on all that sort of business. We are you know, we are not gardeners, and we throw our hands in the air that, you know, that gardening
It's not
has
anything.
eluded us as something to do. To be honest with you, I think if we didn't have all this other business to do, then we could dedicate ourselves to the garden. I think we would probably get our heads around it. However, we just cannot dedicate the time, and any gardener will tell you it's all about dedicating the time.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, and our dear friends up the road, Ian and Sheila, who we love to bits, you know, are wonderful gardeners, and they will tell you that that's not, that garden they've got up there is 20 years worth of work, and it's beautiful, and it's still not finished. You know, Sheila will, you know, chastise me for saying, oh, it's beautiful, because she said, no, it's not finished, this isn't right, this isn't right, this isn't. And so any gardener will tell you. So I think it's for years to come down the line, but I would love to get my head around a little.
Yeah.
You know, but I definitely want to do, as mentioned before, I want to tidy things up and make things,
especially this initial area.
Yeah, so, you know, I can do the hard stuff, the you know, the pathways, and maybe a little bridge here, and obviously the outside structure, and some nicer fencing and all that sort of thing. So let's do that.
Yeah. As for the fruit and veg, I so much want a veggie garden, because I would love to be able to, whatever catering we do in the future, be able to have my own fruit and veg. But to have a fruit and veg, a veggie patch, you need, again, to dedicate your time to it, and you need to keep an eye on it, and you need to keep working on it, and we don't have that. So last year we said it would definitely not happen, that maybe this year. I still think it's not going to happen this year, because you need to start it early on in the year, and we're still going to be bang on renovating. So I think it's going to be next year before we could do that. But it's definitely in the making, in the coming.
Yeah.
So
the second question, wasn't it? Was it
plans to do the garden more, and would you grow fruit and veg for the cafe?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
So I don't know what M stands for, but it's just M. Why isn't your channel listed on the Chateau link that appears at the top of YouTube page? I've tried looking for this Chateau link, and I haven't got a clue. I don't know. We've had a few Americans ask us that. So I don't know if you're from America. Oh, it is from
Tucson,
Arizona. I don't know whether it's an American thing, that it's just in America, but I can't find it on our YouTube. You know, on our listings, the categories, the things like that, Chateau doesn't come up at all. So I don't know. I don't really know. Maybe if you could find out for us and let us know more.
That would be really cool if anybody's out there who could do that for us.
Yeah.
The second part of the question, also would love to see you team up with another DIY renovation in your area. Well, we don't know of any specifically. I don't. Again, if you know where we are. We're in sort of 40k away from Limoges, in slap bang in the middle of France. We do know some other, you know, the chateau owners. We don't know them personally, but we know of them, which are fairly close. But I don't think they're in the state that we're in, the renovation wise. I think
they're not doing DIY renovation.
No, they're not. I think a lot of them are not doing it themselves. Obviously partly maybe themselves, but certainly other things. So it's a probably a no. You know,
also, we don't really have the time. We are so if you know our channel, you know that the renovation of this place has literally been from scratch. It was a derelict property. And there are still areas that are derelict in itself and that needs complete renovation. Yes. So it's not like we have the time to go and visit other people and talk to us. We are literally heads down, crack on, get it done.
Yeah.
So we really don't have the time. And I know a lot of people say to us, it'd be beneficial to your channel. What's beneficial to us is to get on with this work and get it done. This channel is all about us renovating this place and bringing you along for the journey. But for us, it's about getting the work done. That is the priority. So
yeah, it's not something I think you'll see in the immediate future.
Yeah. Auntie Tutu
Hello.
Hello, Auntie Tutu. I love that name, Auntie Tutu. The tea room seems more like a full restaurant. Was this the plan? No, it was never the plan. It was the mayor that wanted a restaurant, and yeah. So no, it wasn't a plan, Auntie Tutu. It looks like so much work.
I think we've answered that second part of the question.
Do you enjoy it enough to continue at this level? Yeah, I think we've answered that. But thank you so much for your question, Lisa. Hi guys. Has Dave and his
Lisa
wife...
and Angela
Galloway as well also asked
the same
this.
Question.
Has your friends, Dave and his wife, finally moved back to England? They moved back. So when you saw the video of us talking about the moving back, it took them 5 days to sell their house and they were gone. So they moved back a long time ago.
It's been... so it's been 3 months, 3.5 months. That they've moved back. They're all settled back in the UK as far as I'm concerned. Still in contact with Dave, of course, because I always will be. But yeah, they've gone back. They're rented a little place in Norfolk in England, and they're both back working.
Yeah, miss ya guys. So yeah, they're gone, I'm afraid. Gary Sexton, is your family going to be with you on Christmas? Well, it's a bit late for that question. Sorry, Gary, but
no, they won't.
No, they won't. Obviously, travel restrictions. Nobody got to see their family at Christmas coming over.
That'd be good.
Very sad, but hopefully we will get to see them soon. Mary G. Mary, will you be able to stay open for business with the new restrictions in place because of COVID? Yeah, we don't. There's no new restrictions here.
There's not any real restrictions. The only restrictions that they've recently placed is on unvaccinated people, not allowing them to come to restaurants or this sort of place, or
But that's been like that for a while, isn't it?
No, unvaccinated people, they could go with the PCR tests, can't they?
Oh yes.
But now they have banned them completely. Or I think it's January the 15th. They're banning anybody that's unvaccinated. To be honest with you, anybody that didn't have a pass sanitaire was not allowed in the tea room, and that was a strict rule that we had, and we were told that we had to have. So that's what we would do, and we will continue to do that. We will continue to work to the guidelines of the French authorities. You know, that's what we have to do.
Yeah. Mary. Paddy.
Yeah, double D-E-Y.
Paddy.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Mary, let us know.
You need to move out of that apartment so you can earn money from it. Will it be the house or the piggeries that get the quick makeover? Well, Mary, come on. Have you been watching the vlogs? Have we ever done anything as a quick makeover?
Mary, I have to say, I read this question and my sides were hurting laughing. Because quick makeover, have you seen that house? Have you seen that house? Quick makeover. What do you think this is? 60-minute makeover? I've got 1,500 builders. It's still taken 3 weeks. I tell you, there's an awful lot of work. The piggeries would have been a quicker fix had I not discovered that I'm probably going to have to replace the roof.
But it will be, you're right. We do need to get out of apartment on the ground floor so we can rent that for the summer. So the plan is that we will move over to the piggeries in the tent.
Or the caravan.
I'm going for the tent.
Thank you, Louise, for the caravan.
Ted wants the caravan.
I don't
Hang on, we've got to ask Louise yet because she might want it back for the summer.
Sorry, actually, Louise, you might want it back. And you're more than welcome to it, my love. You know, it's much appreciated. You know how much we appreciated you for doing it, you and Andy.
So yeah, the idea is that we move over to the piggeries in either the caravan or the tent.
In whatever form that takes, Mary.
Which is quite ironic, really, when you think we went from a tent in a barn to a caravan in a barn to sleeping in the tea room to moving into apartment 1 back to the caravan or the tent in the piggeries.
Into a pigsty.
Into a pigsty. So yeah, we'll be moving into that before the summer and renting out the ground floor apartment. And that means as well is that any chance we get that we could start working on the piggeries, because that, like Ted said, will be the quickest win out of that and the house. Yeah, start working on that.
So we'll do that. You know, the thing is, you know, if we can, yeah, get the rooms the way we want them and rent them out, start making, you know, a living out of that, then the money will go towards the piggeries. You know, things will have to go by the wayside. The money will go towards the piggeries, putting things in. Because, you know, this is the thing. That area over there still needs its own fossiptique.
Yeah.
And, you know, much as it won't be as expensive as this one, it will be a major issue. And that, you know, I'm happy to do it myself. You know, obviously with the help of Monsieur Gregory up the road. But that will be what I would like to do. By the end of summer this year, I would be like to have some kind of structure over there that we can either put the tent in and it's got a decent roof, or that, you know, we're a little bit further along from that.
Yeah.
So that depends on what happens this year.
Mary Hell. Mary. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Mary, again.
When are you going to get in the room with no door? And Cheryl also asked about the room with no door. What are your thoughts on using the unseen secret room? We really don't know. We did try to get into the secret room. Let me show you a little clip of us trying to get in the secret room. We've decided to try and have a look in the building round the back. Whilst we've got the endoscope, we're going to try and find a way of poking it in.
This is incredible.
What is it? What have you found?
It's just, aha!
What?
I found it all.
You found a hole?
I found it all. There's a hole in the side here. It's not in the room. It's just in the side of the wall. Like the mortar's gone on the side of the stone.
Do you want to put this on, baby, so we could get some shots of you actually working in there?
Yeah, if you want. Right, so looking at this, we have got terracotta. I think we've got terracotta here.
Yeah. Terracotta
I don't know. Yeah, they're terracotta. So inside here is stone, and then just inside I've just chipped, it looks like terracotta tile. So yeah, so I've gone about, I suppose, 600 mil inside, and you've got terracotta. And what I'd like to do is get a bit further in to see if that's a pattern. As if that's a pattern, then I suppose then we could possibly ascertain that.
If we lifted like a couple of tiles.
Well, we might be able to lift the tile to see if there's anything. So let me have a proper look.
Could we perhaps lift a couple of tiles and then
Right,
that or something?
just working. So I'm working around a tile at the moment to see if I can move it. I can move it. It's very square. So it's, again, but I'm just trying to see what's underneath that. Again, it's dirt. That's dirt. And and then I hit stone again. Which is what I was saying when we're drilling. It's really weird.
Not another layer of terracotta or something.
I don't know. Just going in. Ow. You little nastiness. Right. So I'm now down. Yeah, so I'm now down quite a way. Just gonna try and drill. Well, bloody chuck's come undone. So I've dug down, I reckon about a foot, lifted that tile, then I've drilled down about that much, and I'm just hitting stone. So if that was terracotta, that'd be through by now. Right, well, unsuccessfully we're not going to go in from this way. I can't get any farther. I've gone down about a foot, so 300 mil, then my 400 drill bit is probably halfway, and then I've come across it. This hasn't got the guts to go through it. So let's try. Should we try, see if we can go in through the side? I don't think I've got a drill bit long enough. This is not long enough, but if it goes through without a little resistance, then maybe there is, there is something the other side, and it's not so bad. But it's an awful lot of dirt to come out of here, as usual.
So it was a bit of a failure, wasn't it?
Massive. You failed. Yes.
I failed.
No,
you was one digging it.
You failed, as in we failed. Don't all little Miss Defensive.
No, we did.
She gets all upset. No, the thing is yeah, we, as you see, we tried to do that. Unfortunately, we didn't have the wherewithal to do it. I have a theory about what it is, and I think, as far as the question about what could we use it for, we can't use it for anything. If we could
get into it for a start.
I don't think it does anything apart from houses the bread oven. I know it's a strange thing, and but I just believe that's my thoughts, and I'm sticking to them. It's not. I'm not speaking for this one. I know.
What we are going to do though is we've got a friend who has a very long drill bit, and what we're going to do is drill through the wall.
Pardon the expression.
Drill through the wall into the side. We did try, but we didn't have a drill bit long enough. Ted's one wasn't long enough, so we've got to find something who is. And see if we can put an endoscope. Is it called?
Yeah, an endoscope camera.
We know of somebody else, our friend John, who's got an endoscope camera. John, yeah. See if we can put that in there and see if we can find out what is in there. We also want to do that in the side of the building so we can see what is underneath the building if there are any more calves.
The thing is where they're trying to, because we've had. A gentleman come who said that our calf might not be the only one, so we need to have a look. We need to have a look, underneath the tower and this and the other. And we don't want to be doing that because of situations with that. But I'm thinking if you dig, we're talking about drilling through the side of this wall where the shaman is down here. I reckon you'd be looking at over a metre thick wall. Because it's right at the base. It's right at it's under here. It's under here. Now these walls are 2+ feet thick.
Yeah.
Down there, which is effectively its foundation. These don't have foundations. They're built on the granite rock. they are built wider at the bottom
Yeah.
because to support the weight at the top. You know, and so
Can you get a metre long drill bit?
You know, there's a gentleman I know by the name of Mr. Harris, who used to work in for a place in England that had 12-foot thick walls, and they used to drill holes through them. So you know, there are companies that do that sort of thing, and you know, it may well be that possibly, you know, we can eventually get that kind of, you know, idea to do it, rather than us trying to have a, you know, us DIYing it.
Yeah. Cheryl Vito, Cheryl, who's coming to stay next year, isn't she?
2023,
2023
Cheryl,
for our anniversary,
fantastic.
isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Cheryl.
What type of skills are you looking for in a volunteer? Where do you anticipate having volunteer bedrooms available? And do you presently have an application for volunteers or a wait list? So, skills for volunteers. What we've been doing is anybody that's been contacting us asking about volunteering, we have literally just been asking them to email us, tell us what their thoughts are on the volunteering situation, what would they like to do, what are they interested in. Then if we feel necessary, we've then set up a Zoom chat with them and had a chat with them to see whether we feel that they are, what's the word?
Well, you know, they know what they're letting themselves in for.
Yeah. That they are suitable.
Yeah,
because
they're suitable.
Bloody hard work here. You know, you all saw when we had Charlene over. And Charlene's, you know, a young person, very fit. It is bloody hard work. We don't stop. And you know, a lot of people said that we went a bit hard on Charlene, but we're here to work. If you want to come out and work with us, then you've got to want to work as well. There's no taking it easy. So we've got to make sure people understand that. And that may seem harsh, but we're on a time scale. And the volunteering, it's very nice for people to come and help, but only if it is a help. You know, if it's a hindrance, there's no point in us doing it. We have to be honest when it comes down to that, don't we?
You are being very honest. You are being very honest. The thing is, it is a two-way street. You know, we have to be certain that people are going to do what we'd like them to do. We have to be certain that they fully understand what is to be done, and they are fully on board with wanting to do it, because
and healthy enough to be able to do it.
And the worst thing is that, you know, they come thinking they're going to be able to do this stuff, and they, you know, because I know if I'd do it, you know, to let somebody down, you would be, you know, I'd be really, really upset at the fact that, you know, so you just have to absolutely know. So skills. As far as we can go, we'll take any skills we can. You know, whether it's building work, whether it's
also, I'm sure we've showed you guys that, you know, we didn't have any of these skills before we come out here. So we're not up for, you know, we don't mind anybody wanting to come and give it a try.
It's just an ability to learn and be able to get stuck in. You know, to get stuck in. You know, we've dealt with volunteers for many, many years with Lisa's work, and I'm helping, you know, when I've been, you know, obviously Lisa's partner, so a lot of the volunteers came and looked to me for guidance, because obviously I'm, you know, privy to a lot of Lisa's thought processes, which can be kind of bonkers. But you have to, you know, meander your way through Lisa's thought processes. But, you know, the thing is that, and, you know, skill level is what, you know, somebody, you know, might bring, say for argument's sake, you've got a builder who comes and volunteers for for one of Lisa's open air events. You don't necessarily want him to do his building work, but you want him to have that brain to think, right, okay, this is the process that I know I want to get to that point. So that, just having that ability to think in that way is as much a benefit as is physical you know, the physical doing of the job.
Yeah.
Is to understand that thought process and to sit down and work things out. You know, Charlene, when she did what she did, she brought her set of skills that she'd done through her own volunteering, but she also gave, she also would think, well, how about if we do this? And something you don't think, because sometimes we're so close to it, it's really hard to actually see it objectively. So yes, anything would be great.
Yeah.
And we don't have any bedrooms available. So if people did want to come, there's various B&Bs around the area.
So that's the thing. Going forward, Charlene stayed in the apartment. That's because we didn't have it up for let yet. Then, get me words right.
somebody else's teeth in, girl.
But going forward, hopefully the rooms will all be let, so they won't be used by the volunteers. There is a thought at the moment. There's a lovely area that I really love in the small woodland at the back of the land that I think would be absolutely fantastic if we could put a pod out there or some sort of structure that we could have some bunk beds and we could do a campfire out there, and I think it would be absolutely lovely. But yes, so there's that option that hopefully down the line we might be able to do something out on the land. If people want to bring a tent or use their tent, we've got a couple of tents. They can quite easily do that, as long as we're not back living in at that time. Or like Ted said, there are a few very cheap B&Bs close by, and that's another option that people could stay in the B&Bs and they can just come in and out as they please. So that way as well, they get away from us a bit, because sometimes we can be a bit overpowering, don't you think?
Speak for yourself, love. Yeah. Sometimes we're a bit too much about it.
So, last question. And this is Cheryl. Ever considered a sunken walled rose garden?
I just read that. Has ever considered a drunken walled rose garden? I thought, yeah, I've considered one of them quite a lot of the time.
Sunken walled rose garden or flower cutting garden in your sewage system area. You could have a gravel pathways over the areas where the pipes are laid. To be honest with you, that area, the walled garden area, is going to be the area that is private to paying guests that are staying in the rooms. And it is an area that we want to reinstate the walled garden that we know used to be there. It's, parts of it are existing still, but most of it's been demolished.
It was, at one stage, it was the orchard part of the property, wasn't it? That Jean-Pierre, lovely ex-mayor, said that he remembers it being an orchard part, and there were apple trees and there's a couple of cherry trees still standing. But yes, the idea is not something, as we've touched upon, gardening has eluded us and will probably elude us for many years.
However, can I just say, while we're talking about it, sorry to interrupt, but just thank you to Beryl for all your gardening magazines.
Beryl.
I have been reading them. I have been reading up on them. Just wanted to say that, sorry.
That's fine. So it's something that, yes, it will be lovely to have that kind of stuff. This, again, gardening is all about time. It's all about hard graft, and it's all about, it's a little bit over here. It's quite a lot of money. So I know you can do it all seeds and all that sort of thing, and you can do it. But again, it's dedicating our time. Mm-hmm. It's dedicating the time to do it. So,
it will come. So yeah, but that area's got a lot of potential.
There's a lot of potential. It's what we want to do. We've met some lovely people who've got. We went round to their house, not so long ago, before Christmas. That was before Christmas or after Christmas. Can't remember.
Dog. Did you just hear her?
What there?
Just farted.
The dog farts like a human being. It's horrible. Anyway, so we went round to this people's house, and they've got an idea where they did an idea with their pool, and it was above ground pool. It's a really nice. They've done some really nice decking, and they've got a lovely sort of going back to the pergola issue. That's what gave me the idea of doing it, because it's nice what they've done, sort of like a terrace on their property. And which is, again, that's one of the lovely things about what we do and what we've done. is you get to meet these people and you get to see their places, and it gives you ideas. And also that, you know, they've been so generous with their time and you know, to help us in what we're doing.
So that's all their questions. Sorry if I've missed any. I don't think I have. But this week, me and Ted have been working very hard on getting the boot room finished. Now, we started the boot room, the floor, when Charlene came. That was October?
October.
But then, obviously, we were so busy with the tea room that I did get to mortar one wall, but then it kind of had to put a stop to it because we didn't want mess and everything whilst we had people visiting. So this week has been full crack on with the boot room, hasn't it? So next video is the boot room, and when you see the befores and afters, I think you're going to be amazed. I know I'm amazed. And we've got one more day left. We should be finished it by tomorrow evening, shouldn't we?
Hopefully.
So I will get the video together, and you don't want to miss that one. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. It's another room that's going to be finished in the Chateau. That means the whole ground floor is finished.
Yeah.
That's great, isn't it?
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, the whole ground floor of the Chateau itself.
The phase one, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the whole ground floor hasn't been done. There's quite a lot more to do that. But that's barns. There's barns there.
And,
and laundry rooms.
And,
washing machine. That'd be nice.
Yeah, the washing machine would be very nice. Okay, so thank you all so much for taking part in the Q&A. I hope we answered all your questions, and
just keep them coming. To be honest with you, keep them coming. You know, we've been, you know, as I say, the last 3 months prior to Christmas were a bit bonkers, and we apologise for not, you know, having the content out there on a regular basis. You know, that hopefully is going to change. You're going to get a lot of renovation videos now, you know, because it's all about upstairs, but we're going to do that. And we, you know, it's nice that the two of us get to do what we signed up for.
And it's going to be back to Egg and Soldiers on a Sunday morning, and the old blackboard and chalk's coming out.
No.
I do love my Liz. So we'll see you all soon. Take care, everyone. Love to you all. And thank you again for all your support. Take care.
Somebody else can come up with a better idea than a blackboard list.
Bye.
See you later. Dog's now pushing the camera. Oh, the dog's had enough.
We would like to say a huge thank you to all of our supporters, from our patrons to our GoFundMe donors, the people that are buying us a coffee on Go Buy Me a Coffee, and you, our subscribers, each week watching the adverts for us to give us a little bit of income each month. Even if it just adds up to a bag of sand, it all helps.
I could tell you I don't care.